Hello, Sariah Bastian here, owner and creator of Beyond Breath. Beyond Breath is a world-renowned program that helps women overcome their husband's infidelity by releasing their emotional trauma. And I have my client Erin with me today. Erin, thank you so much for joining us and being willing to share your experience.
Hi.
And for those of you listening, we hold with such compassion the confidence that is in this niche, right, in this community. And Erin obviously is going to hold herself with confidence today, but also share from her heart, her experience. So thank you for doing this with us. Let's dive into the questions, Erin. Tell us to begin what symptoms you were experiencing before you joined us in Beyond Breath.
Um, so my main thing is I think that I just lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I got married when I was young, and I remember being vibrant and loving and carefree. And I think I took on my pretty much the, the partner, spouse. Um, I was always doing the stuff that he wanted me to do and not doing stuff for me and finding out who I was. So um, when stuff started hitting the fan, I didn't know what to do because I was always doing what he wanted me to do.
Mm.
So I tell people that I went a little crazy. So um, things really started getting bad for me, and I didn't find you for 2.5 years.
Mm.
And so during those 2.5 years, I read every book that I could get my hands on. I went to therapy. I went to, um, life coaches. I did a whole bunch of stuff, and I just couldn't get past who I was or love myself. And I kept on getting in the same rut over and over. And I would go as far as stop eating, not because I wanted to, just my body wouldn't even let me. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't taking care of my children like I normally did. I remember forgetting stuff like appointments. Um, I was crying in my closet a ton of times. I was snooping. I was trying to control him, trying to get him to stop hurting me, as
Mm.
I put it. Um, Trying to force conversations on him, trying to force him to see me. I even went as far as contacting the other women,
Mm.
um, and trying to get them to stop it. Uh, it was, I look back at it out of my body experience, and it was literally me just going crazy.
Mhm. Mhm. So for 2.5 years, just spiraling, even after therapy, books, life coaches. And then you came upon us in Beyond Breath. And what what has been the highlight for you since?
So, one of the things that I loved about Beyond Breath is that I was able to, it wasn't just grabbing books anymore or just grabbing anybody's advice or therapy or trying to throw up, I guess you can say, my words onto somebody to try to get my help anymore. It was it was more learning that it was me, that I had to fix me. I had to be my rescuer. I was the hero of myself.
Mm.
Um, and not only that, but instead of just again grabbing books or therapy, it was let me show you how to do it, and let's start off slowly and build upon on it. And so um and being okay with my pace as well. That's one of the things I loved about you guys was I was like, I'm just so slow. It's been 2.5 years. I'm just so slow. And I was constantly told, like, go at your own pace, let your body and you decide. And so that was a game changer for me, finding myself again, finding my feet on the ground, um, finding out who I was and being okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. I mean, just it's such a beautiful imagery of what you just stated, right? And I love the saying, like, um, your body will heal, like trust that your body will heal at its own natural pace, right? And we try to rush that healing so much, when if we just back off and let it, it does its work. Yeah. Tell me what really transformed things for you, like what you learned inside of Beyond Breath that really transformed things for you.
I think the biggest thing was learning to listen to my body,
Mm,
learning to listen to words that are also coming out of my mouth and words that uh, my husband was saying to me too, of um, not trying to fix him anymore or fix our relationship anymore. It was more, what do I want? What are my values? I'm a separate person. I deserve to be loved. And getting out of my head and getting away from trying to control somebody else and just control myself, because that's what I could do.
yeah. Would you say that listening to your body also relates to you then trusting yourself?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot more, that my intuition is starting to come back, knowing when things are off, even with my kids, and knowing, just observing stuff around me. I have noticed when I'm more present, I can think clearer, I can make decisions clearer, I can not second guess myself or try to ask somebody else for their opinion. It's mine to hold.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's everything, truly. What have been your results? So you've been with us for just over 90 days. What have been your results?
So when I first had um talked to you guys, and I got told that I would have any type of relief in 90 days, I will tell you, I thought you guys were liars. I was like, there's no way. I have been working on this for 2.5 years, and
Mhm.
I have pulled every book, and I've spent thousands of dollars on therapy and life coaches and classes and anything I could get my hands on to. There's no way you guys could help me in 90 days. Like, I thought that I was going to have to spend money and then have to re-spend more money for 90 days, because there's just no way. And um, I got on here and I started doing the work, and I started to feel peace, and I started to feel love again, and I started to find myself again. And listening to the other ladies and support has been amazing. And the love that has been here, like, I don't know where I'd be right now. I have been so unhealthy, and my body has reacted to me in the last 2.5 years. Um, Things that I used to love, I didn't love, and I didn't do anymore. Now I'm able to do them. I'm able to have a clear mind. I'm able to listen to my husband and say, this is your truth. And sometimes I don't like it, but I'm listening. I'm moving forward. I feel my feet on the ground and actually moving forward and finding myself again. And I wish I had found you guys 2.5 years ago.
Mhm.
Truthfully. Like, it's, out of all the programs that I've done, and they've all helped me a little bit, but this has been life changing for me. And it's funny because I've talked to some of my best friends about this program, and I'm like, it's not just for people with infidelity. Like, I feel like every woman should be taking this and knowing this truth.
Mhm. Agreed. Yes. If we could just scream it to the world and help them see. Yeah, I agree. Erin, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about joining us inside of Beyond Breath?
Um, I can't recommend it enough. I I was at a point in my life where I spent so much money and I was like, oh, here we go again. And it was the best money that I've ever spent. Um, I would trade in all the money that I have to not go through what I had to go through for 2.5 years. If I could have learned this from the beginning, I would have saved myself so much heartache, and not only me, but my children heartache, and my friends and my family heartache, and even my husband.
Mhm.
Um, I I thought my case was extreme, and to this day, it probably is a little extreme. Um, but there are people on this group with the same problems, and the amount of support and the openness and just knowing that I wasn't alone and that there's people that love me and that aren't going to judge me for staying with my husband or or even leaving him, not even judge me for leaving him. That they're just there with open arms and that they want as much happiness as you do. But I found my people. Like it was something that I don't have to just, again, throw up on my friends and my family who eventually get tired of listening to the same thing over and over and can't understand why don't you just leave? Why don't you, and that's the world standard, right? They hear that your husband is going to leave or your husband cheats or that your husband does something that you don't like. Oh, you got to leave him.
Yeah.
And and so you get judged heavily and you feel like you have to hide. And so here you do not have to hide. And the women understand, and the women are in the same spot as you, some even more extreme cases than others. And um, I have yet to experience, I don't think there has been a mean thing that has ever been said on this platform, ever. It has always been love. So those that are sitting on the fence, like, don't stop, jump. It's
Mhm.
going to only help you. It's going to help you find yourself. It's going to help you in the future with other problems, not just with infidelity or marriage. It is going to help you move forward in all aspects.
Mhm. Mhm. And you heard it from a real life person who has been through this, who thought she was beyond help. And here she is beyond breathing. I love it, Erin. Oh, I just got the shivers. That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing this. And this is Erin and I were discussing, for those of you listening, before we started recording, that this is a way that she's telling her story. Like this is where she was and this is where she is now. And it's her story. We didn't change the past. We didn't go back and disrupt the truth of what happened to her. What we did was we took her exactly where she was and we helped her walk forward and heal. And that can be your story too. So if this speaks to you, if you are listening to this, if you are on the fence and you're ready to hop off, schedule a call with me. Let's get you started. Let's get you on this road. Like Erin said, 90 days. Yeah, right. There's no way. And yet here she is, a true testament to that relief, that peace, that freedom so quickly. All right. Thank you, Erin, for joining us today, for sharing this with us. And for those of you listening, thank you as well. I love you. Bye-bye.